Hi everyone, and thank you Agriculture Information for inviting us in for such an amazing session. So, like as I talked about my agriculture background last time, and I did my agricultural education right now. Uh, so we just thought like to discuss like how value addition can be done into agriculture as like being an agricultural country, and we're doing a lot of good production in terms of ranks. Like most of the fruits and vegetables, we are on the top or on the second position in the world, or in terms of grains and pulses, we are mostly in the second position in the world.
Mr. Aman.
Sorry for disconnected.
That's
Can
okay.
you hear me?
We will see. Yeah, I'm able to hear. Slightly background disturbance was there. I will let you know. Okay. You can continue from the. You can start from the beginning, I think.
Okay. So,
Okay.
like, thank you, agricultureinformation.com, for inviting me for such an amazing session. And, with a short background about me, I'm an agriculture graduate and I'm the founder of Future Economics, which is a team of agriculture graduates who are working in agriculture sectors differently, like biofertilizer, biopesticides, fiber boards, and few of the vegetable trading. And also, we are exploring the solar drying field right now. So, ma'am and I was discussing like how agriculture can be benefited, and being an agriculture country, we are growing a lot of stuff in India. Globally, we are on the top of the positions in few of the things like in fruits and vegetables. We are on the top in mango, uh, chilies, and a lot of the vegetables. And if not top, we are on the second in the most of the things in respective of the land we have. And in the grains also, we are on the first or second position in most of the grains and pulses in India. At just after China. But why we are not getting a good profit out of it? Like if we are on the top and we are having a high productive rate with our soil and everything. So that's because of most of the fruits and vegetable gets wasted. And according to an IRI report, like 30 to 40% of our produce is getting wasted with a hunger index of such a high hunger index. We are getting such perishable fruits and vegetable gets wasted each year. So that I think like it's need to be solved. It's approximately something around 14,000 crores of wastage we do a lot in this year. Few of the things that are need to be addressed is the infrastructure that we have, the quality of produce that we grow, and how can it be value added and sustained for a longer period of time. So one of the there are a lot of processes like cold storages are quite popular from a time being, and there are a lot of process of preserving through the chemical preservation method like the sodium hypochlorite and few of the things that can preserve food for a longer time. But looking for a sustainable model of preservation, I think like solar drying is one of the best model we can see, and a most affordable model we can easily adapt in this coming time. Like in what I think is like in cold storage, what is the issue is like it's need a regular energy supplies and electricity, and also we need to maintain the temperature for a longer period of time, and for how much time being we need that product, and we have to keep that cold storage on. And what is done in the solar drying process, like you just solar dry the produce for 7 to 8 days, and then after once it's solar dried fully, the moisture is kept out fully. Then you can store that product for 1 or 2 years as well. Like you can convert it into the powder form, and you can properly airtight pack in it, and you can use it again and again in the time being. So that's how I differentiate between the other methods and solar drying method. That it's a low energy method, and the energy which we are using is also the solar energy, which is quite free for us, and it's in abundance in our country. Like in most of the European countries, they don't have a sun timing according to them. But like in India, we have a lot of sunlight available to us. So let's talk about like how solar drying can be done and how it can add value to it. So I was just studying about it, and I got to know about the Raheja solar farming. So Varun is a very good friend of mine. Varun Raheja is from Indore, and he got into Forbes 30 in 2018 for his solar drying model. So what they created is as the triangular piece, the panel shift, in which like there were trays in the downward side, in which like we have to cut down the peels of any fruits or vegetable. Let's take an example of tomato. Like we have to cut down the peels in a smaller parts, and then like we have to put it on a permeable tray. So through that, the water and the other extracts can be pulled down through the gravitational force, and the only the peel, the solid part is remain. And then what we do is like we put it in phase in our solar dryer, which is like trying pyramidically in shape, which have the black films on the both sides. Like what? Why the black films? Because the black films absorb more heat, and how it is different from the normal soil drying method is like in normal soil drying method, there is a lot of humidity, moisture, and the pollution is there in the outer part. And what I'm trying to explain in this model is that, like in this model, like it's a closed compartment of paramedical shape. Let me, if I can show you just a second, I can show you. Yeah, this- yeah, this model. So what this model is doing, like we are putting up the trays of our fruits and vegetable products in this model. And like if you can see this, this are the ventilation chambers out of it, like with the extreme humidity or the moisture can be retained out. And then after this are the black films inside. And apart from that is the semi-permeable layer, which is expecting the moisture outside on the regular basis. So in this model, what I was talking about is like we put something around 100 kgs of our fruits and vegetables in it for the 7 to 8 days, and it can be converted into the extreme dried form. And then after in a mixer or something, whichever you like, you can convert that fruits or vegetable into the powder form. So how it is more useful is like you're getting the exact nutrient value out of it, like the water is put out in it. And like for the tomato powder, if we talk about, or for the onion powder or for the garlic powder, it can be easily transportable. It can be easily sustained for a year or two. And you can use it like for the recent example, if we talk about like the tomato price has grown to up to around 150 per kg, but like what our customers were getting it for the 8 to 10 rupees per kg or for the 20 to 25 rupees per kg, and they were using the solar dried powder of tomato. So it's the no seasonal changes to it, and you can get the year around the products availability. And also what I see is like as a good business for the farmers as well. Like most of the like if you are seeing the 150 per kg I'm so sorry about that. So I was talking about the
Yeah,
tomato
please
powder.
proceed, Mr. Aman.
Yeah, just a second. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was talking about the tomato powder. So like what we have seen is like most of the farmers don't actually get the exact benefit out of it. Like mostly farmers sell tomatoes at 5 to 10 rupees per kg, but the market cost is around 20 to 25. And few of the times during the shortage of any particular crop or vegetables, like mostly it goes around 100 to 150, but the farmer get it. What we should do is to fast adapt. This kind of model like can be easily built up with around 15 to 25,000 each for a 1 ton capacity, or they can directly order from few of the good known vendors. Like one of those is Raja, Agrivijay, and a lot more vendors are providing it for the subscription model basis or for the a lower price. So farmers or self-help groups can also be engaged in this kind of businesses which can add value. Let me tell you for an example, like the European market is very fond of the sun-dried products from India. Like the hotel industry is very fond of sun-dried products from India, and also in India as well. Like the sauces industry, like, and I can tell you with an example. Like if you see that, if you are near around your kitchen, you can just check out your tomato ketchup bottle. It is having three different powders, which I talked about, like the tomato powder, the sun-dried onion powder, and sun-dried garlic powder. So the single product is having this much of the sun-dried different powders in it. So we can definitely get a good business out of it. Like if you can collaborate with any near of the industries, and you can just buy the few of the vegetables and all of the required materials from the farmers, and you can just solar dry it in your backyard, and you can just easily sell it. Like let me tell you, the normal tomato is around 10 to 12 rupees per kg, but the solar dried tomato powder is around 30 to 40 rupees, or it's around 60 rupees per kg in the market. So you can definitely create a good business out of it. So what I think is like, we can definitely save the cost, and also we can retain our vegetables and fruits for the longer period of time if there are the seasons in which we don't get a particular fruits or vegetables through this method. And what I got to know about this method is that the most of the taste and the nutrient are exactly the same as the normal fruits or vegetables. You can just pour some amount of water in it, and you will definitely get a same kind of taste in it. So, and different gravies. Like we can also talk about different shakes. Like banana shake can be made very good from the banana powder, or from the different shakes can be made. Or if we talk about the veggies, we can solo try different veggies or the curry leaves or anything. Like most of the city people do regret of not living in a region due to the non-availability of curry leaves, or a lot of vegetables that don't taste. So you can just solo try for yourself as well, or you can also create a good business out of it. And so these are few of the points about solo trying method, and you can definitely shoot out your questions, like how it can be more better and how we can utilize in a more business form of view. So I would suggest like this is just a basic about the solar drying process and how it can be helpful for farmers. So let's take one more example. If a farmer of 2, 3 acres is growing tomato and he's getting a good produce of something around uh, we can say about he must be getting 2 tons per hectare. Yeah. So he must be getting around 25 quintals of tomato produce throughout the year in the two of his season. So if it's he sells it in Monday, so mostly that in the season time this is the 10 to 12 rupees per kg price. But so he'll be getting around the most a maximum of the profit would be around 2 or 3 lakhs around from the tomato farming. But he will do the solar drying, and if it sells around his powder in the non-season of tomato, and around or in the rainy season when most of the crops are not in the harvesting phase. So he'll definitely be getting around 30 to 40 rupees per kg in the bulk, and he'll be most probably getting around 6 to 7 lakhs of profit. And also, if he's part of some FPO or something which are doing business internationally and they are exporting it to the European markets where the prices are much higher, and something around 100 to 150 per kg of the solar trade powder, and it's also easily transportable than the normal tomato as its moisture retained, and the capacity of retaining is around 1 year or 2 years in the solar drying method. So he must be getting around 10 to 15 lakhs of the same tomato he created in the tomato powder he created from his own farm tomatoes. So I would definitely suggest like farmers should adapt this kind of method which can add value to their products and also let them get a good price and a right time. And they're also it's empowering farmers to sell out their products whenever they want at a good price. Like in the traditional method, what we do is the farmer harvest their products and they sell out in the Mondays, and then just the next day when the prices are quite low and the risk bearing capacity of farmers is very much low in that time. So this kind of method can definitely be a changing moment for farmers, and a lot of FPOs are doing a great job in this. And so you can definitely reach out to a few of the FPOs, or you can definitely do solar drying at your place only. Like the minimum cost I would suggest will be going around 15 to 20,000 for building that chamber. And don't what people ask me like, how is it different from the normal solar drying method if we solar drying openly? So what I've got to know is like there is in the open environment it gets contaminated by the dirt, by the moisture, by the humidity, by the bacteria, by the fungus, or by the hands-on practices what we do, and whatever the external environment have. So in this a closed chamber with a ventilated fan or something around it, it can be done in a more faster way. If you have seen the black film, it concentrates the sunlight energy which the crop is getting, and in a equal amount and a maintained amount of sunlight and energy. So that's how like it's more better to sun dry or solar dry your product in your fruits or vegetables in this chamber that I would suggest rather than doing it in an open environment. So because like due to the moisture or the surrounding humidity or something, it will definitely be getting contaminated. So you will not be getting a better price, or also it's not guaranteed that the nutrients are remained as it is. Because like in the afternoon sun, it's much higher amount of frequency from the sunlight, and the evening it's not the same, but in the closed environment, like there is a black film and few of the permeable layers are there, so it gets the equal amount of sunlight at the same all the time. So that's how like solar drying is done, and that's how like we can be a many entrepreneurs or like farmers can be a good agripreneurs out of it. So that's how I think solar drying can be helpful for farmers and as well as for the small entrepreneurs or for the small the startups which are in the urban cities as well. Like you can do it in a very smaller area of your backyard or from at your terrace as well. So that's how you can create a small business out of it. So that's all from my side. I think like let's get question and answer round. It will be more beneficial for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Aman, for a wonderful talk. I will take up the questions from the participants now. The first question is, just a minute. What specific crops or produce can benefit from solar drying, and how does it enhance their market value? Mr. Aman, can you please unmute your mic?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
So the question is about like what are the major crops which can be solar dried and can be useful for us. So mostly like any crop can be solar dried and they have a different time zone. But what mostly the farmers should do is they can definitely solar dry fruits and vegetable mostly that are being used for the hotel or the hospitality industry as they have a good price. Like mostly what are the solar dried fruits and vegetables I can let you know like apples are being solar dried as they are the perishable fruits and onion, garlic, that tomato, which are having the more moisture content in them and are perishable. So that are being more valuable for the solar drying industry. So you can check on by like the moisture level, like in tomato, there is a lot of moisture and also like the perishable crops like uh, ch- uh, what we can say cherries or for the apples or for the cashew nuts apples. These are a few of the things which are being majorly solar dried and as they have the perishable and or as they are perishable and also have a higher moisture content value. But anything can be solar dried. They have a different time period for that. But like most of the crops can be solar dried and can be converted into powder. Mostly the moringa powder is also quite famous these days. Thank you.
Okay. Are there any government departments or programs that support the adoption of solar drying methods in agriculture? Please
Yeah,
unmute your
there are a
mic.
lot of government. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
There are a lot of government programs which subsidize the solar drying machines. Like if the startups or the company which you're buying from the solar drying machines are recognized through Startup India or from the DPIIT department, so definitely they must be having a 40 to 50% of the subsidy on the solar drying machine. And there is a solar program from Yojana which also offers solar panels at a 40 to 50% subsidy rate for the solar farms and different electrical use. You can also apply through that scheme as well. And there are a lot of mostly what is the easiest way to get this schemes is like you buy from a startup or from the company that solar drying machine which is recognized by the government. They must be offering you 40 to 50% subsidy in that.
What are some key considerations for agri entrepreneurs looking to implement solar drying techniques in their business?
What are the
What are some key considerations?
okay. Okay. Got it. So what are the key consideration is like you look for a market first. Like solar drying can be it's very easy and it can be done very easily. So there are two things like you have a supply and a demand, both the things like don't go for a external veggies or the veggies which are not readily available at your place. Like most of the people, what they do is like they go for apple, but it's not readily available for their place, and they buy it from other place and then to solo try it. And it's not useful. So first thing is like the availability of your product. Like if you're doing tomatoes, you must be knowing if you have the good farmers of tomato nearby to you. And then after the demand, like if what is the demand in your area? Is your local hospitality industries, like the hotel industries, are readily eager to buy your products or not? Like they are knowing that products or not. Like you have to create a good awareness, and a market survey is needed to that. Like as I talked about the European market, you must be knowing which countries in Europe are looking for the solar tried products, or for in India as well. Like there are a lot of hotels and restaurant industries which don't know about the solar drying powder, or they are using the traditional paste method only. So you need to contact with your local vendors, and you must also check out few of the products which are already available. Like you should definitely use the solar red tomato powder or different of the things. Like you should also know that which is the good product or not. So first thing is like availability of the local market, local supply. So look at which are the products which are locally available, and a place where you will be solo trying your product. And the labor, at least if you need 2 to 3 people who need to slice it up, or some if you have the tasks that need to be done. Then also the market, like hotel industry is readily available or not, or you need to sell it online, or you need to export it. This few of the points you need to be clear about, like which part you are eagerly waiting to work for. You need to you want to do it B2C, B2B, or you need to export it. So these are the few of the consideration which you should do. Otherwise, like the method is quite easy and like it's very easily adaptable. Thank you.
Okay. How does solar drying compare to traditional drying methods in terms of cost effectiveness and efficiency?
Okay. So like what I talked about in my talk as well, like if we do the same traditional method, so it's the open solar drying method in which our produce is put on in the open area on our terrace or something, and it's been put for 10 to 15 days. But we don't know about the weather or anything, and the moisture in the air, the contaminate the insects and the dirt and everything is coming out of it, and it's easily get contaminated through different bacteria and viruses and fungus which is in our surrounding. So that's how like this chamber method and solar drying method, which are now being adapted out in the closed chamber method, and they have a ventilation system in that which changes the air continuously, and it keeps the flow on that it don't get contaminated. So that's how it's helpful to do it in a more effective way, in a more efficient the way, and in a limited period of time. Like here, you know that it can be done in 8 to 10 days with an equal amount of with the same amount of time which is needed for it. So that's how it's more efficient and more cost effective, and you get the best quality to sell out.
Okay. I'll take up the next question. What are the essential requirements or equipments needed to set up a solar drying system?
Okay. So basically, it's a chamber kind of a. Let me show you if I just it's clearly visible or not. Let me know.
It's not that clear.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. You don't have
Like
it in your
it,
mobile?
yeah. So, like, if you search for a solar drying chamber, so it have few of the basic things. Like, it have a spray chamber down to it, so which retains which collects the moisture. And there are the triangular panels are there in which forms in the paramedical shape. So it's have a transparent glass on, and have a then after a black film in it, and few of those products in which we need you need to do it in a more level time. So they add up a black film in it, and they have a cloth on it, or a semi-permeable layer on it, so which can be closed, or which we can close or open at different times, like in night you can close it so it don't get the moisture in it. And then there is a ventilation duct in it which continuously pass on the air. So that's how a solar train channel is formed, and it can be directly buy from the market, or you can assemble it at home as
Okay.
well.
Are there any specific training or educational program available for students interested in learning about solar drying for agricultural value addition?
Yeah, definitely. There are few of the training programs which are being organized by ICR, that is Indian Council of Agriculture Research. You can definitely search on it, or on the website of NAHP, that is National Agriculture Higher Education Project. So there are online programs as well. Otherwise, also there are good of few of the FPOs which are training farmers on it. And also there are good of a few of the companies which I talked about, also Raheja Solar Food Processing Private Limited. They are also giving training to upcoming entrepreneurs and farmers, and Agri, which is a good startup in solar. And there are a lot of startups which are giving good training. I would suggest to, rather going for a government training, you should definitely talk with the local startups which are available nearby to you, or you can online also contact with them. Otherwise, like it's not a very much task to do a training or something. You can definitely run solar time through YouTube as well.
Okay.
There are like two options, like either go with ICR, that is Indian Council of Agriculture Research. Otherwise, just follow this few of the startups which will let you learn about it.
Okay. Can you provide some success stories or case studies for farmers or agri entrepreneurs who have implemented solar drying and achieved significant value addition?
Yeah, definitely. Like as I talked about my friend again and again, that is Varun Raheja. He spoke study 2018. He was an engineering student from Indore, and he just got to work with Padmashri Janak Pata. She is from Indore, and she is running all her course through solar energy. Her energy consumption is zero, as we say. So he got to intern with her, and he got to know about the solar cooking, solar drying, and all of the solar stuff with. So he created a device which was portable. Like most of the dryers which were readily available in the market in the past years were not portable. So he just created a portable solar dryer, so which was then transported to the tribal areas, and he has collaborated with tribes there. And then after, like, farmers from the tribes have solar tried different products, and the solar buy back from them, and they them a good profit out of it. So through this he created a very good business of something around 70-80 crores in this 3 years. A non-agri background student created a good business out of it, and he got to recognize from the Indian government and Forbes, and you have the UNEP also recognized him recently. So this was one of the success story I liked personally, and there are Agri Vijay and a lot of startups which are growing in solar space. But you should definitely look up to Varun Raheja's story. It will be definitely helpful for you.
Okay. What are some potential challenges or limitations that farmers and individuals may face when adopting solar drying techniques, and how can they be overcome?
Okay, so what I find personally, also we were trying to adapt solar drying, but like first thing is the market. Like you need to explore the market first, like who is readily available to buy the products. Like most of the people are not aware of it, and there is a misconception about the taste and the nutrient value that is being reduced or not. So that you need to research on. Like, is it really true that the product which you are creating is not the deficit of the nutrients which were earlier there? And the other part on the farmer level, if they are not aware about it, and also the availability of the machinery or the training part, which is being asked earlier in this. So it's to challenge the market and the training of it. Otherwise, like it's a profitable and a low cost business, like 15 to 20,000 is all that you need to start it. So farmers should be aware about it. Like they're not aware that they can start it with 15 to 20,000. And otherwise, like, if they are aware also that they're not knowing the market, that who will buy the solar trade powder or not. Like in European market, it have around 100 to 150 per kg, but like farmers should be connected with some channel or with some startup or something that is available to take them up there.
Okay, thank you very much. We have now completed the round of questions. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, we like to thank Mr. Aman Agrawal for the talk and for answering the questions. I like to also thank all the participants in the meeting. This meeting will now be closed.
Thank you.
Most welcome.